Alright, I'm looking into the sun, so pardon me. So it's midway through the mowing season, and so it's time to sharpen our blades. So this is my Honda lawnmower. What I need for this lawnmower is a 14mm socket. This is a 3/8 inch extension, and this is a deep socket, but I think either one would work. A 3/8 inch extension, and this is a 3/8 ratchet, an extendable ratchet, so I can get some more torque on the blade by extending the handle when I need it. Also, I have a torque wrench, 3/8 inch torque wrench, torque to 40 foot-pounds, and then I have a blade block, just a piece of wood that I'm going to use to help me get that blade off. Also, for safety, I got the goggles, I got the face shield. That's for when I do the grinder, so I could take those off now, but I already had them on from something else I was doing. You need some way to secure your blade to use the grinder, so I use this sawhorse, and this clamp is what I use, but you can figure out your own system. And I also use my blade block, since this is a cheap plastic, to kind of give me a firm surface. So and then I have a pair of gloves, so that's what you'll need for this job. Alright, before we tip our mower over to work on the blade, we want to disconnect the spark plug so that we can't have an accidental ignition, or we're safe working with the blade. So we're going to pop this off of the spark plug. Now we're safe to turn the mower over. I've got the fuel shut off. You always turn these over with the air filter up so you don't get fuel all over in your air filter. I don't like handling blades with bare hands because I don't want to cut myself, so I use some gloves. And I just need my blade block, because when I loosen, the blade's going to turn. And so what you want for this is you don't want to bother the center nut, just the two on the outside. And you can take a photo of how these go on there so you remember. Okay, so that's good to do. So I'm gonna loosen these by stepping on my blade block. Okay, I'm gonna go get a something that'll help me get those off quicker, but we got them both cracked open. I just grabbed my impact gun just to save me some time taking these off, even though I already cracked them open. I could have used it to crack them open, but usually just like doing it by hand. Alright, keep track of my bolts and my washers. Make sure you don't lose your washer when you take that off. Now I want to remember the orientation of these. So the mulching blade is closest to the mower, and then the straight, more rectangular blade is on the outside, and these indentations are facing this way. They kind of go up towards the mower, the indentations are out. So we have 4 sides to sharpen. So right there, you can tell that's supposed to be sharp. This is supposed to be sharp. That's our mulching blade. And then on a regular blade, you would, on this side, that's supposed to be sharp, and that's supposed to be sharp. So now I don't have a great clamping setup, and I realize that. I like to use my piece of wood on the bottom here, so I just kind of get this where I can get to each sharpening thing in one position. So I got to sharpen here, and I got to sharpen here. So I'm gonna put my blade block here, and I'm gonna loosen this, and I'll put my blade block down here this way. Let's tighten it up. Not the best setup because this plastic bends on me, so I can't tighten it too much. Alright, here we go. Okay, so you can tell where it's shiny now. That's where we, put kind of a new edge on that. Okay, so just remember that'll be very hot, so I don't want to touch that, not even with my gloves on. I don't really even want to do it with my gloves, so I just want to kind of loosen this up a little bit, set it aside. I set it in the orientation and it goes back on, so I remember that. This one again, I want to put this edge over on this side so I can grind in that same position. This edge on that side. So I just get those in position. Start tightening my clamp. Okay. So that's done after just a few minutes of work. So remember, it's going to be hot. So I don't want to touch where that grinder was. Okay. So this one is they're gonna go up against the mower like this. And so what I want to do is line up the center hole and line up the bolt holes, and they'll kind of fit right inside of each other like this. That's all you got to do is line up the 3 holes, okay? So then I'll just take one of my bolts, put it through there. Let's go for the top one. By hand, of course. Okay, so we start this one by hand, then we grab this other one and line it up. First I got to get my blades lined up, and then I can see behind there to line it up with the threads, so I do this by hand. Now I can grab my impact and I can just tighten these a little bit to save some time. but I'm not going to torque them down. Last time I had the blade block on that side, which means this time I'll need it on this side. I got my torque wrench set at 40 foot-pounds. So I'll stand on my blade block. Just gonna snug it up a little bit so I didn't torque it yet. I didn't hear the click yet on the top one. There, bottom one's done. Top one's done. So now that's to 40 foot-pounds. So now I'm gonna tip it back up. Alright, now that we got that done, we're gonna reconnect the spark plug wire. So I want to listen for a click. Feel like I got it on there. So what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna turn the fuel on. I always like to just try it out, make sure everything sounds normal. Alright, so our blade sharpening is done. I do that once mid-season, which for me, I always choose a date close to the 4th of July. And that's kind of mid-season for me in South Louisiana. Probably most parts of the country it would work for that. And then in the winter, we'll do it again. And then whenever you feel like the blade's too worn, then you just buy a new set of blades. And I'll put a link to those in the description as well. The procedure would be the same for new blades. You just wouldn't sharpen it. You'd remove them, put on the new ones, torque them down, and you'd be done. So I hope that's been helpful. Thank you for watching.